Well, there has been a rise in crime in Alberta, in particular here in rural areas in recent years. And while there was an actual downturn in 2018, the folks who live out here say there's still more that can be done.
From vehicles to shop supplies, whatever.
Ken Lewis says thieves have visited his acreage more frequently in recent years. He admits he hasn't always been vigilant about locking up his vehicles or his home. No more.
We've, made a pretty aggressive effort with gates and security and what have you.
This is hitting rural people especially hard, folks who are sometimes an hour call away from the police.
Jason Kenney pledging money and action Wednesday to curb both rural and urban crime. The 15-point plan includes an additional $20 million over 4 years to the Alberta Law Enforcement Response Teams, or ALERT. He also promised $10 million for 50 new Crown prosecutors, saying the burden on the courts has created a revolving door for criminals.
Albertans are concerned about property crime, lax sentencing, early release, the revolving justice door.
Kenney also pledging an Alberta parole board, and he wants property owners to be given more leeway in using reasonable force if confronted on their property.
People should not take the law into their own hands, but they have every right to use reasonable force in self-defense, especially if they're in a remote area and they're feeling very vulnerable.
And they voted against the additional resources that were dedicated to that plan.
Premier Rachel Notley noting that the UCP voted against her government's rural crime strategy, which she says is now behind a 10% decrease in year-over-year incidents, numbers confirmed by the RCMP.
It's seen results. We've seen significant reductions in property crime, in break-ins, and in vehicle thefts.
A small decrease after a huge increase means we still have a serious crime problem.
As for Ken Lewis, he'll continue to work with neighbours in an effort to curtail the crime risk. He says he's hopeful things will get better before they get worse.
The theft is one thing. It's somebody being harmed or, is the big thing that we've been fortunate nothing to happen.
In Edmonton, Courtney Theriault, City News.